friendly listening.
Welcome back, ghouls, ghosts, goblins, and fiends of all kinds.
I was going to say girls, gays.
that too. Welcome back to the Haunted Heart Podcast. We're your hosts, Katie.
I forgot my name. No, it's Kenny, unfortunately.
You had one line.
I had one
You
line.
had one line.
I had one job and I failed miserably. Anyway, how the fuck are you?
I'm good. I'm doing good. Yeah, we're rolling strong. First episode of 2021. We are here to make it big. We're here. We're queer. We're living. We're setting our intentions for 2021. Here we go.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This is the first episode of 2021. How exciting.
We're going to get it done. We're going to get it done.
I'm really excited. I say.
Whoa. He said with a desperate sense of, whoa.
I am. No, in all honesty, I'm really excited for the path of 2021, wherever it takes the show.
Yeah.
Just staring down the road. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, last year, we had all of these like plans that just didn't happen. Thanks, Rona. But like
true, but I do think that we were able to focus in a way on like core stuff, right?
True.
We were able to kind of focus on the heart of the show. We were able to focus on our process a little bit more, iron out some of the kinks because there were a lot of kinks, honey. Let me tell you,
we were kinky.
More kinks than a BDSM bar on a Saturday night, honey. But we kind of worked through a lot of that, and I'm feeling really good about where our process is. I'm feeling really good about where the show is. And I'm feeling like we have that kind of forward momentum moving into 2021 to really be able to do some really cool stuff. So
absolutely.
I'm staying positive because we cannot afford not to be in 2021. So I'm positive. I'm positivity. Polly over here doing her thing.
Not positive Polly.
Positive Polly.
Positive Polly.
What was James McAvoy's character in Split? What was that we love? Didn't her name start with a P?
Patricia.
Patricia. I'm positive Patricia. Just put a little paprika in it. Woo.
It's got paprika.
Great movie.
We love Patricia.
I mean, not really, but that character was fucking incredible.
I absolutely love Patricia and her long skirt and her like turtleneck
sweater. Absolutely. James McAvoy in that turtleneck sweater with those earrings.
Honestly, though,
everything.
Like his entire character, like his character in general, pretty much could sum up 2020. Like,
right.
It's kind of like the embodiment.
I think all of us got there a little bit
of it.
Yeah.
Most definitely. I don't know. I'm hoping like that, because I know that last year we had kind of planned to do, some of the what do you call those things? Conventions. See, it's been quarantined so long I can't even word appropriately.
A convention right now is when me and my two cats walk into the kitchen at the same time.
Absolutely.
I mean,
a convention is every Zoom meeting that you sit on at work ever. And I'm here to tell you what, I absolutely love working from home, but there is just something about Zoom culture that has like been birthed out of all of this that is just it's really something, the words that we use, the phrases that we have all seemed to have adopted throughout, this work from home culture that a lot of us that some of us, I should say, have the privilege of doing. Shout out to all of our essential workers out there who've had to go in every day from day one, risk their health, their body, their mind, all of that to keep things running. Healthcare workers, shout out to you, all of y'all. Honestly,
teachers as well.
Yes,
teachers as well who are dealing with the bullshit.
Absolutely.
But now we have a vaccine. We have a vaccine that's absolutely not going to turn us into zombies.
I saw a meme. I shared it the other day that said that North Carolina's vaccine would be mustard based. Vinegar based, while South Carolina's
mustard
would
based.
be mustard based.
It's pretty good.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I don't know. Like, we're just going to strap in and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Honestly. It's
no, we're not going to hope for the best. We're going to manifest the best. We're going to bring it. We're going to bring it out. We're going to do it.
But it's like, I saw someone post, it was another meme where it was like, we're just going to walk into 2021. We're not going to touch anything. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like your mom tells you before you go into the store, you're not going to touch a goddamn thing. You just be quiet. Don't touch anything. Don't look at anything. Mm-hmm. You just walk with a light foot. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're going to do. But before we do that, I believe we have 2 new invocations that we need to do.
Yay! New Year invocations. This is so exciting because it's the first episode of the new year. We're coming in with fresh energy. We're purging all of that shit that we just spent like 10 minutes talking about. And we are going to embrace moving forward. And one of the most exciting ways to do that is with welcoming new people to the family.
Oh, yeah.
If you will. To the coven.
Yeah. To the coven, to the cult, to the show.
Absolutely. And we have 2 new fabulous members to welcome today. And I'm going to go first.
All right. Well, by all means, go right ahead.
I have my happiness candle here. She stands unlit in the darkness. And with it, I am going to invoke Everly E., who is a brand new member of our Stay Spooky squad.
Stay spooky. And folks, standing before me is my own candle that I will dedicate to Sydney M., who is also a member of our Stay Spooky squad because she likes to stay spooky.
Fabulous. Your candles are lit and they will shine the light not only on you, but on all of us as we head forward into 2021, embracing this positive energy, embracing health, wealth, and happiness, and manifesting that for ourselves in our lives.
Absolutely. We love you for it. Thank you for supporting the show. We couldn't do it without you, folks.
We truly could not. And it's been one of the things that I'm so thankful for in 2021 was actually, working things out so that we can have consistent content on the Patreon page. Because I know it has been a while that we were just kind of dropping things here and there as we were able to on the feed for you guys. But now there's kind of a more predictable schedule of, 1 spooky smut reading a month, 1 Netflix and kill per month. And then in between there, whatever other stuff we want to kind of drop on there for you guys, little extra behind the scene video content, things like that. So that's one of the things that I'm most thankful for heading into 2021 is that we have kind of figured out what we're doing over there on Patreon. So thanks to everybody for being patient with that. And if you haven't checked it out in a while, definitely check it out. It is a pretty cool space. You guys kind of get to be a little bossy. You get to kind of be our boss.
Tell us what you want. I love it.
Although we have the nicest patrons ever. Like they rarely ask for anything from us. And I'm just like, you can ask for things. Like you can.
Shit, girl. Sometimes we have to go to them and be like, hey, do you want a shirt? Because like you've signed up for this thing that gets a shirt, and half the time they're like, oh, I didn't know I got that.
Yeah, these guys are chill ass fucking bosses. I love it.
I mean, we couldn't ask for better people to support this show.
Absolutely. So if you are interested, you can check us out. It's www.patreon.com/thehauntedheart. Check us out there.
Yes. And I believe it is my episode.
It is your episode. I hope it's your episode because I sure as shit don't have anything planned.
Damn.
So I have to do a little bit of song and dance if it's my episode.
Looks like this is an improv episode.
Oh God. Oh God. The dark past.
Ooh.
No, I have a little wine poured for myself.
Yeah, that wine is fucking awful.
It's the worst wine I've had in recent memory, to be honest with you. It's a wine that I opened. Supposedly it's a Merlot, but it is a wine that I opened for cooking wine because I was working on a recipe. I forget even what I was making now. Some kind of chicken. But I needed red wine and I didn't want to use any of the good wine. So I was like, guess it's time to open you.
Yeah.
Dusty wine in the back of the cabinet. And we're trying to drink it and it's not quite hitting. So if you hear me wince,
then that's why. Yeah, cooking wine. Usually it's just the wine that I buy while I cook. I usually don't cook with it. Just drink while cooking it.
Mm-hmm.
But interesting. There's a man on the bottle and he's just staring at me while I'm doing this episode.
Here, I'll turn him around.
Turn him around. Thank you.
You're not really used to having an audience, huh?
No, there's a face there on the bottle. The bottle has a face on it, and he's staring at me, and it's kind of lit by the glow of the candlelight, and it's just really weird.
It's freaking you out. Yeah, he's keeping an eye on you.
Freaking me out.
As you suffer through this bottle of wine. Anyway, girl, what are we talking about today?
Well, so without a doubt, 2020 was an experience, to say the least. I feel like we're all coming out of it looking a little bit like Winona Ryder at the end of Heathers. You know, just that big explosion of hair, soot all over the face. You're kind of holding a cigarette in your mouth. And while we understand that there's a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, and a lot of stress there, a part of what we do here on this show is kind of finding a way of ripping into all of these dark topics and make them relatable or sometimes comical, while always trying our best to remain grounded in a certain level of respectfulness for all of the topics that we talk about. And we have covered some crazy shit this year, or for the past year, I should say. We haven't covered anything this year yet.
We haven't covered just this terrible wine. That's
Just
pretty
this
much
wine.
it. And our two lovely, beautiful patrons.
Yes. So we went into everything from local hometown murders to disappearances, viral snuff films, legends, and cryptids. So in that same vein, I kind of wanted to take a look back at some of the craziest, kind of mostly lighthearted events of 2020 and find a way to come together and just kind of maybe have a laugh or two while we sit here and drink this wonderful wine and just stare dubiously into the black abyss of 2021. So kind of, we're going to put our little hindsight glasses on, because hindsight is, as they say, 2020.
That was good. Did you giggle when you wrote that? Did you give a little, I can see your ass now sitting on your couch and you wrote that out. You said, ooh.
So actually, Miss Thing, I did not write that. That actually just came to me in the moment.
That was flow. I love it.
It really did.
I love it when it happens.
I did not. I ended my script at staring dubiously into the black abyss of 2021.
Love that. Okay.
So that's
the magic.
That's the magic.
That's the magic, folks.
Flow, actually.
It's the magic.
But I hate that you know me well enough to know that if that were the case, that is exactly what I would have done.
Exactly.
Me sitting on the couch with my laptop up and just.
Because I've witnessed it. Mm-hmm.
I can't. You're going to make me so self-conscious now of everything.
Just understand that I see you all the time. I'm always looking at you like this man on this wine bottle.
If you don't turn that wine bottle back around, I'm going to have nightmares.
All right, girl.
Honestly.
So tell me about the crazy shit.
We're just going to recap it, folks. Honestly, I wanted something kind of lighthearted to just kick us off. And so here we go. I would like to thank, first and foremost, the Indy100.com for this listicle.
Appreciate you, girl.
Thank you, Indy100. We love you. Let's kick it off, shall we? With number one, which happened immediately after, or at the start of the new year, which was the World War III memes, the trending topics.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Happened.
Yeah.
So this was kind of the first major news story of 2020. Of course, after the events that happened with the Iranian Army General Qasem Soleimani, who died via the airstrike on January the 3rd, which is very serious and worrying, of course. But for a few days, you really just couldn't log on to social media without seeing tons of memes about World War III.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you what, I remember this because there were lots of like gays going into like World War III. And it was like memes that you would have of like someone in heels and they're doing backflips. There was that one meme of Alyssa Edwards who had like the big wig on.
Yes.
She's got her gun.
I remember that
and
one.
She's like doing her
God bless.
flips.
Bless Alyssa Edwards.
Just lots of that. I definitely remember it. And, you know, I guess it could be deemed as kind of inappropriate, but it's one of those things where it's like you have to like admire the internet for taking something, and like the internet can make a meme out of literally everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to tell you what, I most definitely 1,000% would be, what's her name? The Kardashian mom. Shit, I should know this. I'm a homosexual. Why am I blanking on this? My gay card's going to be
God,
revoked.
all I can think of is Linda, though.
It's not, oh my God.
This ain't good.
I know this.
They'd have done this intentionally. Hang on, let's name them. Kim, Chloe.
Chris.
There you go. The Holy
Kris
Trinity.
Kardashian, yes. Where she's like in that fur coat and it's like,
yes.
She's like
on the cell phone?
I think she's on a cell phone. She's like me during in the battlefield of World War III, trying to look for an iced coffee and a charger.
Yes, I remember that. And a charger.
1,000% would be me. I'm telling you. Because at that point, I would just run with it, and that's what life would be for me. I'm sorry. I'm not going to take anything seriously. Y'all know that by now.
Except you'd be looking for an Irish cream cold brew.
Absolutely.
Absolute. Venti.
I need an Irish cream cold brew, and then I'm good.
And send
me out to
we
battle.
need an Irish cream cold brew and GarageBand to work. Can you imagine if we were responsible for any kind of communications in an environment such as World War III?
Oh, God.
Honey, we can't sound check right half the time. We've been doing this shit for 3 years next month.
It will be 3 years. And girl, we only just got some semblance of like
our shit together.
Of
yes.
some sort of like normalcy with like what we're doing. I mean, shit.
Normalcy. What a word.
I mean, honestly.
All right.
Number two.
W.
Number 2. Monkeys run riot in Thai City. So, if you remember, as the world began to go into lockdown in March with the consequences of COVID-19, animals who had no idea what was going on began to reclaim their rightful place on Earth. If you remember where the internet was just saturated with the Earth is healing.
Yeah, okay, sure. Sure, sis.
The dolphins have returned.
Which was fake.
Earth is healing itself, which
was fake as fuck.
Edgelord bullshit thing to say.
Yeah.
Like, I absolutely could not stand it.
Yeah.
But this actually happened. There actually was footage of monkeys swarming and taking over a city in Thailand, which was quite frankly very, very terrifying.
I would imagine. Monkeys are actually absolutely horrifying. Did you remember that story of that lady who had that pet monkey and he ripped her fucking face off?
No.
Yeah, she had a pet monkey. She loved it. There were several documentaries about, like, she was in like some sort of, like, I guess she would make videos or something, but like she had this monkey as her pet and it would just sit on her shoulder all the time and she'd be like, he's so docile, he's so sweet, he's so loving. And then one day he ripped her fucking face off of her fucking head.
I mean, not a laughing matter, but
my God.
Jesus, could
Dude,
you imagine?
Not a pet. Yeah, it took a lot of surgery.
What was that movie? There were several movies like in the late 90s because there was like a moment where you had a bunch of kids movies with monkeys.
Yeah, like Mighty Joe Young.
That there was one like Dunstan Checks In with the orangutan or chimp, whatever.
I think the bigger a primate is, the more I trust it. So like Mighty Joe Young and the fucking Ferris wheel scene at the end of that movie, I will trust Joe Young implicitly. I love him. I'm actually deeply scarred by that film. But orangutans, fuck them. You can't trust them. You don't know what's on their mind.
That's true. Well, there was a tweet that was sent out with video of these monkeys swarming, and this was by user at Zahin says, thousands of hungry monkeys stormed the town center in Thailand because the tourists that usually fed them fled due to COVID-19. It's just a matter of time before they realize that just about 4 of them can take down a full-grown man.
Shit.
And then a few months later, the local police claimed that the monkeys had well and truly taken over and that trying to stop them was, quote, hopeless.
Wow.
Oh, yikes. That would be terrifying.
You know what I'm imagining? I'm imagining that scene in Jungle Book of King Louis' song where he's like, wanna be like you. But like that playing the entire time these monkeys are taking over the city in a terrifying manner.
Ripping someone's face off in the distance. Oh my God.
There's a horror film for you.
With that playing in the background, I want to be like you, and then it rips the face. Oh God.
Mm-hmm. There's our horror film.
Jesus.
Let's get to writing.
Well, number 3.
Do we resolve that?
No.
We just let them have it?
It was weird because they say that because the tourists that usually fed them fled due to COVID-19, which makes me think that like it all happened at once. You know what I mean? Like COVID happened and then like within the next 30 minutes,
they were like,
the tourists fled.
Yeah.
And then the monkeys just rioted. I don't know.
Interesting. No conclusion.
No conclusion there. Probably could have found a conclusion if I did a little more research, but I didn't. So there you have it. I'm just going to leave it open-ended for you.
I don't know. Maybe we haven't heard from them anymore. Somebody should check in.
Thailand, you doing okay?
They're definitely not. But number 3.
Number 3. The Pentagon releasing UFO videos.
Fuck yes. So excited for this. I was like, we're doing it. We're doing it now. But of course, there was a whole bunch of, as there always is with shit like this, there was a whole bunch of other shit that was happening that just kind of smoke screened it. And like most people, even today, are walking around not fucking knowing that we got like actual, like legitimate military personnel on record who have seen fucking UFOs. There's a patent online that you can actually find. It's a patent of the U.S. Navy, I believe it is, of a fucking UFO.
Exactly.
It's real. It's not fake. Do the research yourself.
I can tell you loved this when it came out. I can tell you were all about this.
Yes. No one's paying attention though, because we got TikTok and we got Snapchat.
Hey, you leave me alone.
We got fucking Among Us, and that's
you leave. Hey, what is this? Why are you attacking me right now?
I'm just saying.
Very attacked right now.
I'm just saying. You just got to look at the world. We got it. We got plenty of shit going on.
Yeah, that is true.
Out here.
So, like you said, in pretty much in any other year, this would have been the biggest story on the planet. But because it happened to occur in 2020, it was kind of reduced to just something that was just a little weird to most people. And even with that in mind, it is still staggering that the Pentagon released actual footage of a UFO, and now it's just out there in the public realm for everyone to see. UFO enthusiasts didn't know whether to cry, or excuse me, Katie didn't know whether to cry or be completely elated.
Yeah, I did a little of both.
I did a little
bit of both, actually.
Yes. Twitter user Nick Pope Mod says it's not every day one reads a New York Times article containing the phrase off-world vehicles not made on this earth, which sounds like some crazy futuristic automobile ad.
Yeah.
Like, off-world vehicles not made on this earth.
Yeah. It very much is that. I mean, maybe if we could find the fucking like metal, or not even necessarily metal, but the material that would be used to build such a thing. I mean, I would imagine that fucking Elon Musk would love to do so.
Yeah. Nick goes on to say, when I investigated UFOs for the UK government in the 90s, I could only dream of such mainstream respectability for this subject. What a cool job investigating UFOs for the UK government in the 90s.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
great
just tell
job.
me you're a part of the fucking X-Files team.
Great job. Shitty benefits also comes with exposing yourself to Men in Black repeatedly, which we have already identified that you and I probably aren't going to do so well with. I mean, they're coming for us eventually because we're going to get there, but we're not going to handle it well.
Yes. So number 4 on our list is the massive lasagna in Wembley Stadium story. So another weird sensation of the first few weeks of lockdown was memes and videos going viral on WhatsApp. Most of the stuff was utter nonsense and scams designed to catch people out, but one will undoubtedly live on in infamy, and that is the Wembley Stadium lasagna voice note. And I am going to play it for you here today.
Also, just so you know, my sister, her boyfriend's brother, works for the Ministry of Defence, and one of the things that they're doing to prepare, and this won't affect London, this will be everywhere, they're basically worried that people are going to get stuck indoors without any food. So one of the things that they're doing is they're actually working on making a massive lasagna. So they're actually, at the moment as we speak, they're building like the massive lasagna sheets, and they're just going to start making the layers today. And then hopefully, like, obviously put the bolognese on and then put the sheets on top. But they're having to make the special sheets, obviously, because they've not got one big enough, because they're making lasagna the size of Wembley Stadium. So how they're doing it is they're actually putting the underground heating at Wembley. That's going to like bake the lasagna, and then they're going to put the roof across. So it's like recreate an oven. And then what they're going to do is they're going to like carry that. They've got loads of drones, and they're going to like lift it up with the drones, and they're going to like cut off little portions and like drop them into people's houses, just so to make sure everyone's eating still and no one dies, which is obviously quite sensible. But yeah, I think I'm looking forward to that, because I do quite like lasagna as well. So fair play to them.
So there you have it.
I mean, this man could be a city planner. This man has big ideas. Is he running? Is he running in the next election? Because I really feel like he's got some plans for us.
I just love you put the bolognese.
Because I'm really quite looking forward to it. Like, I mean, he could
a massive lasagna.
How high was this guy?
So
how high was he?
We could only take a guess as to how many times this was shared and listened to by people who either found it hilarious or genuinely believed it to be true, and that the Ministry of Defense was turning Wembley into a giant oven.
I'm going to tell you what. I can tell you with near certainty that every single motherfucker who thought that was true was high as balls when they heard it. And they were like, makes perfect sense to me. It's actually quite sensible.
I mean, I kind of... cutscene to me who's like, oh yeah, great.
You know what it reminded me of, though? It reminded me of an episode of Extreme Cheapskates that I watched, where this lady tried to cook a fucking lasagna in the dishwasher. She just wrapped it with a bunch of tinfoil, and she put her dishes that need to be washed on the bottom, and she put the lasagna on the top, which everybody knows the bottom gets hotter than the top. She was trying to cook it.
That's why I don't eat a lot of people's cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's a lie. I mean, plenty of people's cooking.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
No,
but it makes me think that I should care.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to think that I could tell the difference between a lasagna that was cooked in a dishwasher or Wembley Stadium versus one that was cooked in a nice oven.
I'm going to go for the Wembley Stadium lasagna.
I love the concept of picking a gigantic stadium-sized lasagna up and like cutting pieces of it off and dropping it into houses when I can't. I mean, I'll cut the lasagna and I'll get my spatula and I can barely scoop underneath the lasagna portion and get it onto the plate before it just comes completely fucking apart, right?
Honestly, if there was a lasagna that big, that would be goals. Like, I would want to just dive into the lasagna as long as it wasn't like super hot. Like, let it cool down first. I don't want to end up with third-degree burns from jumping into this giant lasagna.
Yeah.
But let it cool first, and I would be all about it. But
should work on that.
It was all the work of a man named Billy McLean, who initially did it as a joke to cheer people up before things got out of hand. He told ITV News, initially it was just a joke amongst my friends, but quickly it became apparent how worrying it is that something shared just among friends in a living room with a mobile phone can quickly spread. Obviously, this joke was fine, but sort of the information that people could believe to be true could be quite dangerous. One of the things it's shown me is that people have a sense of humor even in difficult times. It's good that people can have a laugh and a joke with it. Overall, it's had a positive impact. Which he has a point. I mean, how fast things can just spread, especially if it's a lasagna.
Yeah, it can. It certainly can. Spread with its gooey tendrils of mozzarella.
I just fucking love
Fresh.
lasagna. Number 5 on our list here, and you know it, and I know it's coming. The Tiger King craze.
Doesn't it seem like it was a lifetime ago?
Such a long time ago. It was such a weird point in 2020's history. Like, everyone was obsessed with it. It was the first major cultural sensation of 2020, thanks to Netflix. And the series about unusual big cat enthusiasts in Oklahoma. Joe Exotic and Carol Baskin, that bitch Carol Baskin. Sorry.
We're really respectful of titles here on the show.
Yes. Became legit stars almost overnight as their bitter feud, which almost resulted in murder, and Exotic being incarcerated captivated viewers both sides of the Atlantic and pretty much the globe, if I'm not mistaken. Baskin is now a contestant on Dancing with the Stars, which, did you see that? Did you happen to see her Dancing with the Stars?
I did.
It was on another
briefly
level.
Yeah. This story has actually blown up to be more than I could have ever imagined, because I actually first heard about Joe Exotic on Last Podcast on the Left, which was years ago. And they were discussing like how, because this was an underground story, when it happened. It was quite a small story, but it was crazy as hell. And everybody was like, oh, this would be really interesting if somebody picked this up to tell the story of this or whatever. And then, of course, a couple of years later, the documentary came out. And so it's like, wow, this actually did balloon into exactly what we thought it would be. Yeah.
Yep. And then you had the likes of Donald Trump Jr., who shared there was a picture of what was supposed to be Joe Exotic with Donald Trump's face on it, kind of like merged together.
Interesting.
And
now that's an interesting branding for your cult of personality.
Yes. And the caption on the Instagram post just says, ha 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 ha, I love the internet. I heard about this guy. So yes, the Tiger King craze. There you have it. Number 6. Apparently, and this was news to me, people were very excited about Gillian Anderson playing Margaret Thatcher on The Crown.
Yes.
Which I actually ended up watching a bit of The Crown, which was unusual for me.
Did you feel enriched?
So I actually started watching it because the actress that plays Princess Diana was really good. And I was like, damn, she's kind of spot on. But I started watching it. But away from Tiger King, Netflix caused some uproar, apparently, about this, and a lot of head scratching after, which apparently, according to this article, Gillian Anderson is a bombshell, and she was set to be cast as Margaret Thatcher as the British Prime Minister in the 4th season of The Crown. So apparently people were really concerned about that. I don't know why.
Interesting.
Mr. At Gary Witta says, Gillian Anderson as Margaret Thatcher in The Crown is seriously freaking me out. I've never felt more sexually confused in my life.
Apparently, she was with the creator of that show.
Oh, really?
And they split after 4 years together.
Interesting. I just couldn't get over the voice. That long drawn out, yes.
Yeah.
It was just.
I could see it though. She's a great actress. She's a really great actress.
I could see it too. I don't know why people were freaking out. I mean, I love the hair. I love the costuming. It was actually a pretty good show from what I saw of it. So
what if, this is a reimagining. What if she had been, a sex pistol?
Maybe.
What if Margaret Thatcher and the Sex Pistols? There you go. There's your movie.
I
wanted Gillian Anderson to play Bond. That's what I wanted. I wanted Gillian Anderson to be our new Bond.
Well, so I'm excited that we finally got a woman Bond. That's cool.
Yeah.
We love that. I fully support a woman Bond. It was either that. I wanted I wanted a woman Bond, or I wanted Idris Elba. One of the two. I would be happy with either. I got one. We're good.
But so who is going to be female Bond?
So the female Bond, let me do a quick research here.
Let me do a quick research here. The fuck?
Lashana Lynch, I believe, is
really?
Yes, and that is confirmed.
Oh, damn. Oh,
Bond.
She's beautiful.
Yeah.
Actually. Wow.
So I'm really excited for that.
Fuck yeah. I wanted Lady Bond. Oh, damn. Look, I'm learning things as we go. I didn't know we were getting a Lady Bond. I really wanted a Lady Bond.
Listen, this is an educational podcast. Okay?
Edutainment, please.
Edutainment, if you will.
Edutainment. Yeah. That's good.
So number 7. Stepping away from TV, we're heading into politics again. People thought that Kim Jong-un was dead.
Mm-hmm.
So for the record, he's not dead. However, for a short period in April, people genuinely believed that he had passed away, thanks to a lot of misinformation that was being spread about the dictator. Despite there being no confirmation about Kim's death, the internet still went ahead and made lots of memes, as others were speculating that his sister was set to replace him. Twitter user @Drill says, Kim Jong-un, sir, we don't see eye to eye on many policies, but I look forward to you recovering from being brain dead so we can share a beer.
Is that a thing that happens? I look forward to you recovering from being brain dead, so that we can hang.
I don't know. We're not medical professionals here, so who are we to say what can and cannot happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I hope maybe he did get his beer. We can only hope for the best.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Just put it in the IV line. It'd be fine.
Just put an IV. Number 8, Elon Musk and Grimes baffled everyone with their choice of baby name. So the musician and the South African entrepreneur are one of the most unlikely celebrity couples in the world today, and keeping true to their surreal relationship, they welcomed their first child into the world. Their choice for the child's name was, I can't even fucking pronounce it. It's XAEA-12 Musk, which Grimes gave a full and clear explanation behind on Twitter. X being the unknown variable, AE, which is her elven spelling of AI, meaning love and or artificial intelligence. A-12 is equal to the precursor to the SR-17, which is their favorite aircraft, which apparently is not weaponized. It's not for defense. It's just for speed, great in battle, but non-violent. Plus A, which is equal to Archangel, her favorite song. Apparently it translates to metal rat.
Rich people are so fucking weird, man.
Thinking that.
What? What?
So there was some dispute as to whether the baby's name.
Nah. Can you imagine being the substitute teacher that has to teach this son of a bitch in like 10 or 12 years? I mean, what are you going to say when you come across that name on the roll?
So here's the thing.
You know who you are. Is you here, girl?
It's just actually the dial-up internet sound from the 90s that plays. That's how you actually pronounce the child's name. And it's like, and do we have...
or just a scream in the distance.
Who knows? There was some dispute as to whether the baby's name was legal, as the use of numbers in a name is outlawed by California law.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Which led the proud parents to call the child XAEA-XII instead. I don't know how you pronounce that. Like I said, I'm just going to leave it to the dial-up modem and leave it at that. But yes, I thought, like, you remember back in the day when we thought it was weird that, like, celebrities, like, who was it that named their child, like, Apple?
Yeah, Gwyneth
Paltrow. Like, we thought that was weird.
We did, but at least that was a word in English. Not knocking names that are words in other languages, but I mean, it just seems like we're reaching real far with that.
But this doesn't even, like,
yeah.
Come on. Anyway, I'm just going to leave it at that.
Maybe that's what I'll name my baby. It rolls off the tongue. Right?
It very much does. Quite like when the gates, for our number 9, the gates to The Rock's house, when he pulled them off.
What?
We all know that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is strong as muscles on his muscles, but this is ridiculous. In September, he shared pictures on Instagram of the electric gates to his house completely demolished and lying on the ground. Turns out there was a power outage at the star's home, which left him locked in the grounds. However, Johnson still needed to go to work, so he did what any normal person would do and literally just ripped the fucking gates off their hinges.
Everybody after quarantine.
And there's a picture on Instagram where the gates were just quite literally just ripped off. And he posted the picture on Instagram with the caption, "Not my finest hour." But a man's got to go to work.
I guess. I mean, maybe just call in. Sorry, man.
We experienced a power outage due to severe storms, causing my front gate not to open. I tried to override the hydraulic system to open the gates, which usually works when power goes out, but this time it wouldn't. Made some calls to see how fast I can get the gate tech on site, but I didn't have 45 minutes to wait. By this time, I know I have hundreds of production crew members waiting for me to come to work so we can start our day. So I did what I had to do. I pushed, pulled, and ripped the gate completely off myself, tore it out of the brick wall, severed the steel hydraulics, and threw it on the grass.
I'm going to tell you what. Don't piss this man off.
Do not.
Do not piss this man off. Our primary concern 2021 should be making sure
that The Rock is fine.
That The Rock is happy.
But there's some good news. He goes on to say that his security team was able to meet the gate technician and welders about an hour later, and they were apparently, quote, in disbelief and equally scared. Again, not my finest hour, but I had to go to work. And I think I'm the 100 emoji ready to be, he's hashtagged it Black Adam. I don't know if that's what that.
Maybe that's what he's filming.
Maybe what he's filming. I don't know. But definitely.
Well.
Number 10, a star went missing. Stars, as in those in outer space, don't traditionally vanish without a trace. It's just not something that they do. However, that's exactly what happened to a star that was 2.5 million times brighter than the sun. The blue star, also known as luminous blue variables, was in the Kinman dwarf galaxy.
That's Elon Musk's second child's name.
It's a staggering 75 million light years away from Earth and had began to be observed by astronomers between 2001 and 2011. But now it's not there. And weirdly, the star didn't even supernova, which sounds like a great way to say that you came. I didn't even supernova.
It's sort of like that. They sort of just explode into nothingness. Our sun will do that one day.
Eventually, yeah. So that's, usually what happens when a star vanishes. In a statement released by the European Southern Observatory, Andrew Allen, a PhD student at Dublin's Trinity College and the lead researcher on the study, said, "It would be highly unusual for such a massive star to disappear without producing a bright supernova explosion. Instead, we were surprised to find out that the star had disappeared. If true, this would be the first direct detection of such a monster star ending its life in this manner." Did we maybe just move the telescope out of the way?
I don't know, man. I don't like
move it back.
I don't like that. That seems open-ended.
Yeah. It's a little concerning. But moving on. Number 11. QAnon supporters thought that JFK Jr. was going to become Trump's running mate. The QAnon conspiracy is probably the most dangerous and worrying theory linked to Trump and his presidency. Trump and his administration have tried to distance themselves from it, but haven't publicly disavowed the cult-like following, which believes that there's a secret individual in the government who is attempting to expose a deep state satanic pedophile ring that is trying to undermine Trump's presidency. That's probably one of their least unhinged theories, as in October, some followers genuinely believed that John F. Kennedy Jr., who has been dead since 1999, was going to come out of hiding and replace Mike Pence as Trump's running mate.
I tell you what, though, what a spectacle would that have been? That would be very interesting.
Yeah, some Twitter users shared an image that says, it's got pictures of both of them on it, and it says JFK Jr. to be announced at Dallas rally October 17th as President
Trump's
Dallas 2020 running mate.
Oh,
And they
no.
captioned it, "Mark your calendars."
I'm not Dallas. I think QAnon mostly now is trolls.
Probably. Number 12. Miley Cyrus claims she once had an experience with an alien after being chased by a UFO.
I read this story.
You did.
I read this story.
So
Of course I read this story.
Because it has UFOs in it. So we're going back to the UFOs here. Miley Cyrus claimed to have had an experience with an alien in front of a taco shop.
Who among us? Who among us has not? You know, let he who is without blame be the first to cast stones. I certainly won't be casting any.
Right. Her quote from Interview magazine says, "I'm pretty sure about what I saw, but I'd also bought weed wax from a guy in a van in front of a taco shop. So it could have been the weed wax. It looked at me and we made eye contact, and I think that's what really shook me, looking into the eyes of something that I couldn't quite wrap my head around. I was shaken for like 5 days. It fucked me up. I couldn't really look at the sky the same. I thought they might come back."
Mm-hmm.
This article does go on to say that it sounds like a case for the Men in Black, which we're not gonna.
No,
We're not.
I don't think they understand.
They don't understand. The Indy 100 doesn't. They don't get that.
We should hit them up. Let them know. Spread the word.
Yes. Number 13. An airline offered people a flight to nowhere, and it fucking sold out.
Of course.
With the pandemic restricting people's travel this year, airlines have been forced to improvise to at least give passengers the feeling that they are allowed to fly around the world. The Australian airline Qantas offered customers the chance to fly. I think that's how you say it. Qantas?
Yeah, Qantas. Yeah, that's right.
To fly around the sights of Australia and even travel to Antarctica without even leaving the plane before touching right down where it had left off in Sydney. It doesn't sound that thrilling, and with prices ranging between $575 American dollars and $2,765 American dollars, you could understand if people passed on it. But bizarrely, it became one of the airline's most popular flights ever and sold out in just 10 minutes, which is insane. A spokesperson for Qantas said, "It's probably the fastest selling flight in Qantas history. People clearly miss travel and the experience of flying. If the demand is there, we'll definitely look at doing more of these scenic flights while we all wait for borders to open." I would like to rephrase this and say that it's probably the fastest selling flight and that people clearly miss travel, aka rich people clearly miss travel, because who's going to spend $575 during the middle of a pandemic to go on a flight to fucking nowhere just to fly around?
But also, aren't you exposing yourself to like dangerous shit? Like all the danger of travel with none of the benefits?
I'm just saying.
Interesting.
What are you going to see? Oh, okay. There's fucking, I don't know. Number 14 on our list here is Ben Shapiro, who's singing the lyrics to WAP.
Yes. I remember this.
And becoming
what
a
a
meme.
blessing.
We all know the phenomenon that is WAP. The sexually explicit song features some of the most graphic lyrics you'll ever hear and is all the better for it. It's not to everyone's taste, though, and we shouldn't be surprised that it offended many conservatives in America, chief among them, Ben Shapiro, who attempted to criticize the song on his podcast by literally reading the lyrics out, but censoring one word that he was too embarrassed to say. Unfortunately for Ben, this went viral and the internet had a field day with memes, as per usual. Number 15. I don't really know who this person is, but apparently they're I guess a social media star, but it's a pop star by the name of Jedward from Ireland.
I've never heard of
an Irish
Jedward.
pop star or pop group named Jedward.
Okay, I'll be checking that one out.
But apparently they took aim at politicians and branded Donald Trump and Boris Johnson Poundland Jedward for trying to copy their hairstyles. There's a picture here if you could see the Donald Trump wind blown in there.
Oh, I'm familiar with it, unfortunately.
But the most popular moment came when they mocked Noel Gallagher after it emerged that the former Oasis band member was an anti-masker. The twins tried to help Gallagher see his mistakes by rewriting the lyrics to his classic hit, Wonderwall, by saying, "Today is going to be the day at Noel Gallagher that we're going to throw it back to you. By now, you should have somehow realized what you got to do. And wear a mask because we're going to be the ones that save you. And after all, we're your Wonderwall. Love, Jedward.
Touching. Touching.
Number 16. There was a reverse waterfall in Australia. Now, there have been plenty of weird weather-based phenomenons in 2020, like the heat wave that just didn't want to end and the fire tornado in California. However, we're not sure anything was stranger than the waterfall that went backwards in Australia as wind gusts reached 70 kilometers. Is that it? 70? Yeah. Kilometers? That's a measure of length, right? Is that a speed? I don't know.
Kilometers per hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, like miles per hour.
The rest of the world is like, you're an idiot.
No.
Can tell you're American.
Got it.
Several waterfalls in the Royal National Park near Sydney actually started to be blown backwards, creating a literal reverse waterfall, which is pretty terrifying, if you ask me. Number 17, possibly my favorite on the list. A pair of gay penguins stole an egg from a pair of lesbian penguins.
You know?
Now, if you had drama in the Dutch LGBTQ penguin community on your 2020 bingo card, then congratulations. Your luck has come in. Over at the Amersfoort Zoo, a pair of gay penguins stole an entire batch of eggs to hatch as their own from a lesbian couple. The gay penguins, named Tux and Flipper, have a reputation for causing trouble, having previously stolen a single egg in 2019, which failed to hatch.
Damn.
They clearly didn't want to be foiled again, and this time stole an entire batch of eggs and also took over 2 enclosures. Now, although the pair seemed determined to get their own little penguins, it's unlikely to happen. Zookeeper Sander Drost explained to some TV show that I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of, that because the eggs were produced by a lesbian couple, they wouldn't be fertilized and are unlikely to bring any baby penguins into the world. Drost does believe that one day a same-sex penguin couple could conceivably lay an egg that hatches.
They need a donor. They need to hook them up. They need to hook them up with the surrogate.
I love this like Tux and Flipper rom-com that we have going on.
Yes. They need a show. They need a podcast.
They need a podcast.
They need
absolutely.
a podcast.
They're just trying
it's
to start
sort of
a
like
family.
having a child.
Kind of. Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
I wish them, you know what? I wish them the best of luck in their endeavors.
Absolutely.
Number 18, who could forget it? Murder hornets. Murder hornets took the stage for 2020. Now, this pesky insect, also known as the Asian giant hornet, made their way into the United States in May and quickly alarmed people as stories about them taking over honeybee hives, decapitating their less aggressive winged friends, and taking their corpses home to feed their young swarmed the internet.
Bees really didn't need that.
They didn't.
You know, they're
issues.
just trying to fucking do the best they can for us.
Mm-hmm. I think so too.
They didn't need that.
They're like, listen, humans, you have your drama. Like, we didn't need it. We're just over here trying to keep all of you alive.
Right. We're trying to carry this motherfucker on our backs.
Yeah, so it seems like it's from a horror movie, and for a brief moment, the idea of murder hornets running rampant in the U.S., combined with a pandemic, had people fearing the worst. Twitter user at Chudney Spears says, I feel like God is using an end-of-the-world problem generator and just got murder hornets. Mm-hmm. But thankfully, as we all know, nothing quite happened out of that, and they just kind of fell off.
Either that or they fell back in their plotting.
Potentially. Number 19, water discovered on the moon.
I remember this.
So much like the previous UFO story, water being discovered on the surface of the moon would be a gigantic fucking story. But 2020 is gonna 2020. This year really doesn't want anything about space becoming anything more than a weird news story. Does it? At NASA tweeted, in case you missed it, using our at Sophia telescope, we found water on the moon's sunlit surface for the first time. Scientists think the water could be stored inside glass bead-like structures within the soil that can be smaller than the tip of a pencil. Scientists and experts are yet to state what they believe will be the implications of this landmark discovery, but in the meantime, everyone couldn't resist making memes, aka WAP. As Twitter user at Alex_Abads shared a picture of Cardi and
what does the P stand
Megan.
for? Tell me the P doesn't stand for planet. Tell me it doesn't stand for planet.
I don't know. All they posted.
What does it stand for, Kenny? I need to know that it's not what ass planet, because moon's not a planet, moon's a moon. Moon's different than a planet. Moon orbits a planet.
I don't know.
I'm real upset.
I don't know.
Oh, God.
The Washington Post just simply posted, "Moon's wet."
Moon's wet.
And he responded,
Moon's haunted and wet.
With a picture of Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion and said, "Their impact." Oh, gosh.
You know, I hope more for us in 2021.
The official Twitter account on Twitter, which the
Twitter's
Twitter account.
That's always weird.
Says, "If the moon can hydrate, so can you," which NASA responded back with H2O, more like H2O.
I fucking love NASA's social media is actually incredible. If you don't follow it, you definitely should, because whoever's running social media over there is phenomenal.
I mean, honestly,
NASA's
I want
social
that
media is
job.
bomb.
Like, they're like, we really don't need you to have any type of like
science degree
or intelligence. We really just want to hire you because you're witty and like can make one-liner comebacks.
Right.
Like, if you just read the articles and then just, have like a basic understanding, just shoot those zingers out. Where's that job? I want that for like, like the Wendy's, the fast food. Maybe you could be the one for NASA and I could be the one for like Wendy's or Burger King, McDonald's, what have you. Maybe that's the future. Who knows what 21?
Maybe we should have gone to school for marketing.
Then maybe we could market this podcast better than we have over the past 3 years. Number 20 on our list and the final one, they list it as Brexit, but I thought that was a lame one to end on. So I'm going to end it on our Utah monolith. That's what I'm going to place for number 1.
Yes. Yeah.
Honestly, to me, more exciting.
The monolith thing. So now I think the ones that are popping up more recently are more trolls. The monolith thing is a little disturbing. Of course, it could be a troll of people who are bored. However, I mean, there's a lot going on. We had that star that disappeared. We have the U.S. government finally owning up and kind of like laying the groundwork for full disclosure in the future.
We have Grimes dial-up baby.
That I think that's its own problem. But there is a lot of things that are kind of coming together surrounding the whole concept of aliens and other worlds and things like that. And it might be a topic that we have to revisit on the podcast in 2021, because I think it's high time to dig into that a bit more.
I think it's interesting because I think there are some people who believe that we are going into the age of Aquarius right now, if we're talking astrology, which is supposed to be like all about that higher self, like weird. That's actually, I'm not going to go too far into it because that's actually an episode idea that I want to get into. Is talking about the different ages in astrology and all of that. But it would be interesting to start seeing more of that come through in this age. But it was just really weird because you had these monoliths that start popping up. Like the first one was in Utah, which in and of itself is really weird. And then, just kind of like disappears. And then you start seeing some popping up all over the globe. Many, I believe, were built by artists who were trying to mimic the monolith, or was some sort of like, people say that it could be some sort of guerrilla marketing campaign, for something, maybe it's fucking Elon Musk and Grimes guerrilla campaign for their fucking baby. Who knows?
Their new line of dildos, perhaps. One can only hope.
I don't know, but
we do love a sharp edge.
We do. Ooh. I don't think so. I don't think so. But you remember we started seeing like all of those memes, like you'd see the fucking monoliths in the toilet. It's like woke up, went to the bathroom, and there's a monolith in your fucking toilet.
Yeah, I remember that article.
So we love that. We love that the overall theme of 2020 is that even in the darkest of times, the internet will find a way to make a meme out of it.
Yeah.
And we love that. So
coping.
It's coping. And that's what we're doing here. But that is your list of kind of lighthearted events that happened in 2020, 20 for 20. You get it. It's a theme. We're there. We're in 2021 now.
Moving forward. Love it.
Moving forward.
Thank you for that review. I think I'm going to choose to remember those items and only those items from 2020 moving forward. Well, thank you for that lovely walk down memory lane.
You're
and
welcome.
as we said, we're going to embrace the light. We're going to embrace love, healing energy moving forward into 2021. I feel like there is sort of this movement to, not say anything and be superstitious and be like, don't say anything about how 2021 is going to be. Don't say anything. Because everybody said 2020 was going to be their year. But you guys know that I'm a little bit, I kind of think of things a bit differently when it comes to things like that. And I think, if you're going to make it a good year, you have to do that. You have to bring that energy to it. You can kind of shape it. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that's out of our control right now, but what you are in control of is your own mind. You have bodily autonomy over yourself and over your mind. And those are the things that you can use to create a good year for yourself, or a reflective year, whatever it is that you need moving into 2021. Just sort of focus on what is within the scope of your control, because it's really easy to get overwhelmed by the stuff that's not within the scope of our control. So focus on what you can control, and to those things bring good intentions, and that way you can sort of manifest what you want out of this year actively.
Ditto.
Yeah. And if you want more good stuff in your life, you can start with us, honey.
Really? Start with us?
Maybe. Yeah, we're good people. We're good.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Yeah, maybe. You can find us on Twitter at The Haunted Heart. You can find us on Instagram at The Haunted Heart Podcast. You can find us on Facebook. If you search The Haunted Heart Podcast, you can find our Facebook page where you can drop us a like, give us a 5-star review. You will also find our private Facebook group. You will need to request to join, but once you have requested to join, either myself, Kenny, or a member of our Murder Mod Squad will approve you to join the group. And we keep it private just for you guys, for your own privacy, so that you can kind of have a separate space away from the rest of your Facebook page where people aren't seeing what you're posting unless they are also a member of the group. And at that point, it's like Fight Club, You don't talk about Fight Club. But we do love for you to talk about us to your family and friends. One thing that really helps the show is by leaving reviews. So whatever platform that you're listening to us on right now, if you will drop us a 5-star rating and give us a little bit of a review, we do love to read them on the show. It is always a good time. And that does help us in the algorithm gods that rule our eternal lives. If you would like to support the show, as we mentioned up top, you can go to patreon.com/thehauntedheart and sign up to support us. Tiers start at $1 a month. We do have a bunch of backlogged, secret, special Patreon exclusive content there, and we are constantly releasing new things there as well. So if you want more Haunted Heart in your life, that is where you can find it, my loves.
Absolutely. That's where you can find us, waiting for you.
Always waiting for you. And carrying you forth into this new year. I'm excited about it. We're going to do what we can. How about that?
I love that little fist action that you gave.
Absolutely.
Do what
Rosie
we
the
can.
Riveter. We're going to do what we can.
Fist bump.
All right, Darklings. From both of us to you, best wishes for a beautiful, happy, healthy 2021. And until next time, stay spooky.